Hey guys, Dwayne Bryant here from WagerTalk.com with another edition of DB's Freebies. I'm going to start out with the Lookahead line segment where I'm going to use Westgate's Lookahead lines, compare them to what the line is now. Let's start with the Thursday night game. It's 3:09 Philadelphia Eagles at the Houston Texans. And we've got the Eagles' look-ahead line was -9, and it is now up to -14. So a huge jump there. Not really surprising, though. The Eagles just trounced Pittsburgh 35-13. Houston just gave up over 300 rushing yards to Tennessee, over 200 to Derrick Henry alone. And the Eagles are one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. They're number 6 in rushing yards per game, so it only makes sense that the Eagles would run right through Houston here. I have a calculation that I use to create my own prediction for a game using DVOA, and basically DVOA metrics from Football Outsiders. It measures a team's efficiency by comparing the success on every single play against the league average and based on situation and opponent. So in other words, not every 3-yard run is created equal, not every 10-yard pass is created equal, and it gives you an efficiency rating for each team. I use that to make a calculation and a prediction on a game. And my DVOA here has the Eagles by 13, so very close to the current number. I'm not going to be playing this game, at least not the side for sure. I can't lay 2 touchdowns on the road on an extra short week like this. Next game is game 453, Buffalo at the Jets. The look-ahead line at the Westgate was Buffalo -10.5. We're now seeing Buffalo at -13. Again, the move is not a surprise. The Bills are coming in off a bye. They're very well rested, number 1 team in the NFL by most people's account. The Jets are off a disappointing home loss to division rival New England. But the funny thing is here, and I was surprised by this, my DVO prediction for this game was Bills by only 6 points. So, 13, divisional home dog, that's a lot of points. And keep in mind that the Bills are only 1-2 against the spread as a double-digit road favorite, and that goes back to 2020. This is, like I said, a divisional game, so it's going to be, I think 13 points just might be too many for me to lay here. Next game is game 455. It's the Miami Dolphins at the Chicago Bears. Now, this game, I'm looking at the total. The look-ahead total for this game was 41.5. Right now, we're seeing it at 45.5, so a 4-point jump on the total. And again, this isn't a surprise to me at all. We just saw these Bears give up 49 points to the Cowboys in Dallas. Not only that, they traded off 2 of their best defensive players, pass rushers, Robert Quinn, Roquan Smith. So that defense is probably going to go from bad to worse. It's definitely going to probably get worse before it gets better. And the Bears are facing, and this is going to surprise some people, Tua Tagovailoa, Miami's quarterback, is actually number 1 in passer rating right now at 112.7. Ahead of Patrick Mahomes, ahead of Josh Allen. He's got 2 great receivers in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who've already amassed 1,688 combined receiving yards, which is the most receiving yards by teammates through 8 games in the Super Bowl era. So the Bears defense figures to have its problems here, so no surprise that this total has jumped the way it did. Let's look at game 467, Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. The look-ahead line was Arizona -4. That has now crossed the key number 3 and is down to -2. Again, this line move doesn't surprise me either. Seattle is coming off a 2-touchdown win over what was then the 6-1 Giants. I've said they were overrated for weeks now, and again, I base that on DVOA. I regard that advanced metric very highly. And Arizona is off an 8-point road loss in Minnesota. Seattle did beat Arizona 19-9 at home in Week 6, so this is a revenge game for Arizona. But the Cardinals are one of those rare teams that seems to play better on the road. In fact, a couple Thursdays ago when they beat the Saints at home on Thursday night. That snapped an 8-game home losing streak. That's pretty much almost unheard of. So, the Cardinals play better on the road. Seattle, I think, continues to be undervalued, especially when you look at the DVOA numbers. I used them as a free pick several weeks back as an underdog when they upset the Chargers in LA. I still think they can upset the Cardinals and do the season sweep here. My DVOA projection here is Seattle by 6. So, I'm definitely going to take a strong look at Seattle in this game. The next game is 469, the Rams at Tampa Bay. The look-ahead line was a pick. That game is now showing Tampa Bay as a minus 2.5 point favorite, and that's a juiced minus 2.5, and there's even some minus 3s out there. Again, this move doesn't really surprise me either. The Rams are off a 17-point home loss to the 49ers. The 49ers, however, do seem to own the Rams, seem to beat them every time the last few years. Tampa Bay is coming off extra rest, so, did that fix their offensive problems? We'll see. I kind of doubt it, but I could be wrong. This is actually a huge revenge game and actually a double revenge game for Tampa Bay as the Rams beat them twice last year. Beat them, I think it was week 3 at home during the regular season. And then they upset Tampa Bay in the playoffs in Tampa. That was a game where the Rams got out to a big lead, held on for the 3-point win. So double revenge for the Bucs. And much to my surprise, when I did my DVOA calculation for this game, the projection works out to Tampa Bay by 8 in this game. So, again, I haven't done a full handicap on this game yet, but definitely with that number, I'm going to be giving Tampa Bay a strong look in this game. The last game in this segment is going to be 471, the Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs. Look-ahead line was Chiefs minus 10.5. This game now sits at minus 12.5. Again, not a surprising move. Tennessee's got Malik Willis at quarterback. They got by Houston 17-10 last week. Kansas City's off a bye. A lot of stuff out there about Andy Reid off a bye. So Kansas City's got more time to rest and prep for this game. Don't know yet who we're going to see at quarterback for the Titans. Is it going to be Ryan Tannehill? Is it going to be Malik Willis? I kind of think it's Tannehill, but as I record this on Wednesday morning, it's a little early to tell. This is also a revenge game for the Chiefs. Big revenge game, actually. Last year, Week 7 in Tennessee, the Titans buried the Chiefs 27-3. That's going to be bulletin board material all week long for the Chiefs here. We'll see if they get their payback. Spoke about Andy Reid off a bye. He's 9-4 against the spread as a regular season home favorite off a bye. The DVO projection here has Kansas City by 8.5, so that would tell you to take a shot on the Titans plus 12.5. Not sure if I can get there, though. I got to do more research on this game. And obviously, if Ryan Tannehill doesn't play, that 8.5 is going to become a little bit higher, in my opinion. My projection, that is. So that's a game I'll have to revisit later. So before I get into the actual free play this week, though, I do want to tell you about a special that's going on right now over on my Wager Talk page, which you can find at dbbets.com. Guys, I've been on a heater the last 9 days. I've won 15 out of my last 20 plays overall. That's 75% winners. In the NBA, I'm at 71% winners on the season. I'm on a current 5-0 NBA win streak. And I want to give you guys a discount so you guys can play right along with me. And so for a limited time, if you purchase my NBA season through the NBA Finals package, I'm going to throw in a 90-day all-access package absolutely free. That's a $749 value, absolutely free, covers all sports for 90 days. And that's included free to anyone who buys my NBA season package by Monday, November 7th. You don't need a coupon for this. You don't need to do anything on your end after you purchase. Our awesome customer service team at Wager Talk will manually add your 90-day all-access pass to your account for free within 24 hours of you purchasing my NBA season pass. So a free $749 value there at dbbets.com. Don't forget to check that out. For the actual free play, I'm going to use a 6.5 point teaser this week at minus 130. For the first leg, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to tease them down through the key numbers of 3 and 7. We're going to tease them down to -1. The Bengals are off a blowout Monday night loss in Cleveland, 32-13. The game wasn't even that close. So they should be highly motivated here. And yes, it's a short week because they played on Monday night, but they're traveling from Cleveland to Cincinnati. You know, what is it, 250 miles or so? So there's not a big travel issue there. On the other side, Carolina is off a demoralizing loss in Atlanta in overtime. They had a chance to take the lead in the NFC South. DJ Moore scores the tying touchdown with seconds left. Gets called for a penalty for taking his helmet off, which I think that was a BS penalty. From what I saw, he had just stepped out of the back of the end zone, so technically he was off the field of play when he removed his helmet. Should have been a penalty. Anyway, the kicker goes on to then miss what was a 48-yard extra point. Game goes to overtime. Falcons win. That's got to be a letdown for the Panthers here, especially since they're facing a non-conference opponent in this game. But this is also a look-ahead game for the Panthers, because guess who they've got next week? A rematch with the Falcons. So you can bet at home also. So you can bet that they're going to be looking ahead for some payback, for that game. So it's easy for them to overlook the Bengals here, mail it in maybe. Bengals at home -1 in this leg of the teaser looks great. Second leg of that teaser, and I mentioned this game in the look-ahead line segment of the show, 467 Seattle Seahawks. We're going to tease them up to +8.5. So we're going to tease them up through the key numbers of 3, 7, and 8. And the reason that I went with a 6.5 point teaser at -130 instead of a 6-point teaser at -120 is because I wanted to get Seattle through that key number of 8 here. And Seattle just beat Arizona 19-9 at home back in week 6. So Arizona does have some revenge here. But as I mentioned in the look-ahead segment, the look-ahead line segment, Arizona's a much better team on the road. Their last home win snapped an 8-game home losing streak. I continue to believe that Seattle is undervalued. And as I said, my DVOA projection is Seattle by 6 here. So I think getting them at +8.5 is a great value. So your free play for this week is the 6.5 point teaser, Cincinnati -1, and Seattle +8.5. That will do it for this edition of DB's Freebies. Don't forget to head over to dbbets.com, grab that NBA season package, and we will throw in that 90-day all-access $749 value absolutely free. And as always, best of luck on all your football wagers this weekend.